Good afternoon, good afternoon, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Spilling Tea. I'm your host, Tiffany Daniels. We are going back to that horrible world known as the JRC. But before we do, the usual disclaimers. If you are unfamiliar with the Stop the Shocks campaign or the campaign against the troubled teen industry, you're going to see all the pertinent links right there in the description box. Please, in particular, take note of the article written by NeuroClastic, a small non-for-profit started by autistics for autistics. In it, they interviewed over 800 ABA professionals in regards to the JRC's so-called Behavior Modification Program. The Judge Rotenberg Educational Center doesn't want you to read that article so much. They threatened NeuroClastic with a defamation lawsuit if they did not remove it from the website. NeuroClastic refused. You know the drill. Please read the article. Share on all your social media. Also included is NeuroClastic's public statement in regards to the defamation lawsuit threat, as well as a link to their GoFundMe. We are crowdfunding just in case the JRC actually sees through with their threat. Trigger warning 1 will be discussed places like the Judge Rotenberg Educational Center or Agape Boarding School for Boys. You're going to hear vivid descriptions of and catch clips or surveillance footage of people with mental health issues and disabled people being tortured and abused. If you do got young children present, please make sure to utilize the headphones. Trigger warning 2, this channel is marked not for kids for a reason. We use profanity on occasion and speak on dark subjects. If your child is 16 and younger, and they are watching this, very obviously, parental supervision is advised. I'm sorry, I'm using the pillow. I have found I really like it during these videos, especially when my back hurts. So, sorry, y'all gotta deal with it. Alright, now the reason why I have not been doing videos all week, although I usually do, is because, folks, somehow, at the beginning of the week, I managed to somehow, while trying to open one of these here, open the lid, but then somehow tilt to where it spilled all over my keyboard and everything. And somehow during this process, through means I don't understand and I didn't even feel it happening, this tooth here got chipped to hell. Now it's not painful. At least not in the normal capacity you would think of. There's no shooting pains or anything. It didn't touch any nerves. But I have been in absolute sensory hell all week long. Talking doesn't feel right. Drinking doesn't feel right. Even eating feels weird. So I'm apologizing for that now and getting these videos done today because I did manage to get me in an appointment for tomorrow so they can, fix this shit before I go insane. Alright, enough about my excuses. Let's move on to the new comment. And as I always say, prepare yourselves for the hostile stupid. The worst kind of stupid of them all. Comments assert that punishment generally, contingent shock, and use of ESDs are the state-of-the-art treatment options for patients with SIB or AB, along with PBS, pharmacotherapy, and restraint. Are you smoking crack? Is crack what you smoke? Because I can say most emphatically that everyone that works in mental health works with people with developmental disabilities, or even just in the general healthcare field, in no way, shape, or form at all have ever said or put forward to the general public that they feel that using skin shocks is state-of-the-art care. Literally everyone and their mother has said the exact polar opposite. It's not state of the art. One of the things that define state-of-the-art treatment is that it's used across the board. It is a standard of care being utilized everywhere. You cannot call electric skin shock state of the art when only one place uses it. Okay? State of the art and standard of care tend to be running together. They're not synonymous, but they're damn close. Nobody, believe me when I say nobody. Go ask your local doctor if you don't believe me. Nobody has said, believed, or have ever implied at any point in time within the last 3 damn decades have stated that electric skin shocks is state of the art care for SIB or AB. Literally no one. Legitimately, the people who do field studies and clinical research, all the major university research programs and clinics, not just here in the United States, but everywhere in the world, have refused to do clinical studies. Hear me on this, refused doing clinical studies to test the efficiency of the electric skin shock. And they all cited the same concerns as to why they refused to do them. There is ethical concerns, particularly that of the violation of the Hippocratic Oath. Literally everyone, folks, including that Yale research facility where they conduct clinical studies that literally have blasted radiation into autistic children's brains to help them not be autistic. Those guys said that they had ethical concerns about conducting such a study. If you can't even get clinical studies and research out there from other folks that are in no way connected or related to the JRC in regards to skin shock, you cannot at all try to say that it is considered state-of-the-art treatment. I'm going to need you all to put down the crack pipe. Let's continue to read, shall we? To ban a device under Section 516 of the FD&C Act, FDA must find that it presents substantial deception or an unreasonable and substantial risk of illness or injury. And if there is ever been a recent medical device that we can emphatically say with 100% confidence that they do indeed provide an unreasonable and substantial risk of illness and injury, the GED is it. Okay? You can't, this is not for debate here. This is what drives me crazy. You can't say there's a debate when all the facts, the evidence, the clinical studies, and everything's against you. That's not a debate. That is, how in the hell did we get here and are still here in 2024? That's the conversation. There's not a debate here. Okay? We can prove with all the receipts that have receipts, that this device absolutely provides an unreasonable and substantial risk of illness or injury. We can say that emphatically. We have medical documents from ERs literally pouring out our ears. Which one would you like me to pull up first? Right? But let's continue. As we explained in the preamble to the proposed rule, with respect to unreasonable risk, we will conduct a careful analysis of risks associated with the use of this device relative to the state of the art and potential hazard to patients and users. In other words, we're going to find out, is this item actually state of the art, or does this infinitely cause more harm than good? All the evidence pretty much points to the later. You can't argue with medical documents, folks. You most, in particular, cannot argue with ER documents. All right. Thank God my mom's not reading this because she would go off. It might last for a day or a year. I get this from someone, folks. It's obvious, all right? Okay, let's continue. The state of the art with respect to this proposed rule is the state of current technical and scientific knowledge and medical practice with regard to treatment of patients exhibiting self-injurious and aggressive behavior. It's so good it must be fattening. Let's read it again, shall we? The state of the art with respect to this proposed rule is the state of current technical and scientific knowledge and medical practice with regard of treatment of patients exhibiting self-injurious and aggressive behavior. Exactly. Actual state of the art, folks. The current standard of care. Okay? Literally what everybody else does. Literally what everybody else does. And then we are measuring that against ER documents as well as witness testimonies to back up those ER documents. Professionals who have worked in this field for decades longer than Dr. Matthew Israel was able to legally hold on to his license. The evidence is overwhelmingly against the JRC. I cannot believe in my logical head that anyone could possibly argue for them when every single piece of evidence is against them. Explain it to me like I'm 5. Thus, in determining whether a device presents an unreasonable and substantial risk of illness or injury, the FDA analyzes the risks and benefits of the device poses to the individuals, comparing those risks and benefits to the risks and benefits posed by alternative treatments being used in current medical practice. In other words, in regards to physical harm, physical. I'm not talking about the psychological mindfuckery that is ABA. I'm talking about an actual causing physical harm. That's just the JRC, folks. Current standard of care do not use physical aversives in any form. What they do have is psychological aversives, which is a completely different topic, which I hope to one day get into once we can get the JRC to finally go the way of the dodo. You know what I'm saying? It's pretty self-explanatory here. The fact that someone actually tried to argue with their full chest that the GED was state-of-the-art care. Look at my eye twitching. Alright. All right, folks, we're going to go ahead and close out on that. We don't get very many views on this channel, and the few we do tend to get removed from time to time. So you do know the drill. Please don't forget to hit the like button, hit subscribe, and please don't forget to hit those comments. I do appreciate your time. As always, folks, we here at Spilling Tea do hope you have a good one. I'll see you again here in a few minutes. Bye-bye, everyone.